Almost a month into the administration of John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic, already the government is taking shape. The President has made several appointments, but there's still more to go. The new list of deputy ministerial nominees were released by the President on Wednesday. We'll discuss who is in this particular list, what they bring on board, and we'll give you a regional breakdown of the individuals selected, nominated, or appointed by President John Dramani Mahama to fill the various ministries in the country. We'll also tell you about the new appointments as agencies, and we'll also give you an update on what is happening in the Ablekuma North constituency here in the Greater Accra region. After December 7th, the EC is yet to declare a winner in that particular constituency. When we come back from the break, I'll tell you who I'm doing this show with. My name is Sami Wiafi, and this is the Situation Room. Welcome back, and this is the Situation Room. My name is Sami Wiafi, and as always, I do the show with my colleague, Fred Tete Jabano. Fred, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sami. Today you didn't add your brother.
You're still my brother, no matter what. Well, as you are aware, on December 7th, there was an election across the country to elect a new president and 276 members of parliament. As we speak, we have 275 members of parliament. There's one outstanding, which is the Ablekuma North constituency here in the Greater Accra region. Till today, the Electoral Commission is yet to declare the winner of that particular election in that constituency between Ekuye and Erabna Obin. The two are claiming victory in that election. Now, if you drive on the N1, you see huge billboards of the two candidates thanking their constituents for voting for them as members of parliament. But then you ask, who is the winner and who is the member of parliament in that particular constituency? This afternoon, the minority led by the minority chief whip, Frank Anodompre, was in a constituency, led a number of members of parliament to that constituency to go and engage MPP supporters there, as well as the MPP parliamentary candidates in that constituency. They've given the Electoral Commission a week to declare the winner in that constituency. And for them, they feel that Ekuye is the winner of that election in the Ablekuma North constituency. Fred, it's been a problem for MPP and NDC in that constituency. The matter was raised in Parliament some weeks ago by the minority leader, Apollo Markin.
And they protested.
Yes. Asking that the Electoral Commission brings a finality to this matter. What's keeping this?
Sami, we all do not know. For a while now, we haven't heard anything from the Electoral Commission.
The last time the EC tried to make an attempt to redo the recollation, it didn't end well.
Yes, they put it on hold. We are told that some members of the NDC, alleged members of the NDC, went to the office of the EC and disrupted that particular collation process and also destroyed some properties of the EC. Since then, we have not really heard the EC about the fate of Ablekuma North and who is going to represent the people of Ablekuma North in Parliament. Tomorrow is going to be 1 month since Parliament, the new Parliament was inaugurated. For 1 month, we haven't had a representation for the people of Ablekuma North. Earlier in the week, I collate the results and declare a winner. It's become a challenge. He went to court, he was taken out of court, he went back to court. The court directed the EC to go do the collation. The collation started, there were issues, they had to put it on hold. They tried to do it again, it never took place. And till date, we still haven't heard anything from the EC as to what the way forward is with that particular collation process. And it's becoming very worrying.
Very worrying. I've suggested that, for us to bring a finality to this matter, let's conduct fresh election in the constituency. Simple. Conduct a fresh election. It won't stop anything. It won't change anything. It's just one constituency. Because what is the issue of contention is some police station and the pink sheets for those police stations. Now, conducting election in those polling stations may bring a challenge. So right now, we cancel all the election. Every election that was conducted in that constituency is cancelled. Let's conduct fresh election
the court has to
in the constituency.
The court has to declare that.
The EC should go to court and seek the court to nullify the election there and conduct fresh election.
That's another way of resolving the problem. I mean, for us, the EC should just needs to come and tell us as people who are interested in this whole thing, as Ghanaians, as constituents, the people who live in that particular constituency, what is the challenge and how they are seeking to resolve that particular challenge. Nobody knows how they are seeking to resolve that particular challenge. That is why people are now agitated.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that the minority went to the constituency to meet their candidate and make all the comments they made when they met their candidate. I won't be surprised that you see the NDC also moving there to do the same. You know, it creates a lot of tension within the constituency. The EC really needs to come out to tell us exactly what the situation is and how they are going to resolve it. That is very important. We need to hear from the EC. The EC should not remain quiet on this particular matter. They need to tell us that this is the way forward or that is the way forward so that we all know what the plan is. But if you keep everybody in the dark, this is what you are going to see. People agitating for both sides, everybody declaring themselves winner, unnecessary tension. And you are given a difficult task to even the security personnel within that particular constituency, because you don't know when somebody would get up to do anything. So we are pleading with the Electoral Commission to at least come out to say something. Let us know what they intend to do and how they intend to go forward with Ablekuma North.
I think that is not enough, Fred. Let's put Ablekuma North aside. And even though it's still in Parliament, I think that's not enough. We saw chaos in the House, January 30th. As if what happened on January 7, 2021 was not enough, we saw a repetition, if I want to describe it that way, at the appointment committee sitting on the 30th of January 2025. Now, the speaker sets up a 7-member committee to investigate the matter. They started their public hearing yesterday. Mid-through, it was suspended. Now, the NPP has directed its members on the committee. The NPP has only 2 members on the committee. Abna Asare, former Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, and then Honorable Kwame Eyimedu, Member of Parliament for, I think, Asante Akim North or South, one of them. Those are the 2 members NPP, has on that committee. Now, they are asking them to withdraw from that committee because they have a problem with that particular committee.
They say there was no consultation.
There was no consultation.
The Speaker did not consult their side of the Parliament before choosing the 2 representatives. So they are withdrawing from that committee. But you see, Sami, this issue, I'm not surprised it has come back all over again. It came back on the 30th, where you see members of Parliament vandalizing property and, fighting each other. You see, when something happens the first time and no action is taken, nobody sees the seriousness of it and the fact that and why it shouldn't happen again. It happened on the 7th of December 2021, 7th of January 2021. We saw on camera what took place and transpired in the House of Parliament. We saw military men enter the House of Parliament. No action was taken, no punishment was taken, no investigations took place. Everything went quiet, as if nothing happened. Despite the concerns raised by the public and civil society. The legislature decided to
do their own thing,
to keep dumb about whatever it is. They didn't say anything. They were dumb. They were deaf. They didn't say. They didn't hear. And now we enter into a new parliament. What happens? The same thing in a different form happens at the appointment committee, because people did not see their colleagues being punished in the first one. So yes, it's a life as usual. Nothing changes. Now an action is taken. The speaker goes ahead to issue out some suspension to about 4 of the members of Parliament. The 4 people are suspended. What happens next? A committee is set up. Before the committee even begins its work, people start raising legal issues with regards to the appropriateness of the Speaker's decision. Nobody challenges it in court. We sit and we see this majority come back to Parliament, come and plead. Oh, we are sorry, it wouldn't happen again. We wouldn't even want to challenge it in court. And Speaker, what does the Speaker say? Okay, I'm a good father, a good father. So then what? He lifts the suspension.
The suspension is suspended.
He lifts the suspension and the members are allowed to come in. Yes, it's true that people need to be given fair hearing before any punishment is taken. Now, the procedure to give fair hearing is a committee which has been set up. The committee starts its work. In the middle of the work, the chairman of the committee comes and says that I've received a directive from the Speaker to suspend the sitting, to put on hold the sitting, which came as a shock to everybody. The chairman comes back later in the evening to explain that, look, the Speaker did not, according to the Speaker, he hadn't given any directive to anyone to stop the hearing of the committee. Only for us to come back to hear that the minority says they are not interested in the committee sitting, they are withdrawing their members. Then you hear from the General Secretary, the Deputy General Secretary of the MPP, who says our members were not consulted, so we directed them to withdraw. Is it the party which directs members of Parliament, a caucus which has leadership as to what to do? Why are we not hearing from the leadership of that particular caucus? Why has the Speaker kept quiet a day after the announcement was made, where everybody heard that there was a directive or a message from the Clerk of Parliament that the Speaker says we should suspend? If indeed the Speaker says I haven't issued out any directive like that, why is the Speaker quiet? Why hasn't he said anything? The MPP side of the House, their party has given directives. What is the leadership of the caucus saying? They haven't said anything. You know, Sami, some of these things, sometimes we just look at it and we brush them off. But you see, if we don't take action, if the people who find themselves doing these things do not take action, no punishment is meted out to people, it will repeat itself again.
Yes, it normally annoys the confidence of democracy. And the democracy we all tout, that Ghana is a democratic state, you know, puts a lot of, you know, how will I have the credibility about the democracy that we are practicing, because we know that democracy will come with, you know, rule of law and the rest. So does it mean members of Parliament are above the law?
They cannot be above the law.
When they do anything outside the law, they can't be punished.
They cannot be above the law.
But for the MPP to ask its members to withdraw from this particular committee, it came to me really as a surprise. Does it mean that when Chairman Bedra invites minority members who were involved in this, they're not going to appear before the committee?
There was a directive for them not to appear.
And it even looks like that, because when you realize the first sitting of the House, all those who appeared before the committee as witnesses were all NDC members. I didn't see any MPP member being part of those who were invited by the committee to appear before the committee. Does it mean that the directive has already taken place before the announcement by the General Secretary? I think the minority there must come and explain certain things to us.
For me, I always say that what they intend to do, I think about it and I'm like, why? Is your intention to let this issue die a natural death?
Just like that?
So there will be this issue, the Speaker will not speak, the minority will not speak, the majority will not speak. Then by the time we'll not hear of the matter again, and that is the end. We are telling them that we would ensure, we would continue to speak about it, we would continue to make noise about it, for action to be taken, for the committee to work, for a report to be given, so that people who do wrong are punished. We won't keep quiet.
Of course. Agreed. Fred, put this committee aside. Let's deal with the latest appointment made by President Mahama on nomination. Obviously, they will face the appointment committee again.
Yes.
The appointment committee, which is in trouble. These men and women are likely, or no, not likely, they are expected to face the appointment committee of Parliament when there's a date, you know, a date is set out for them for their vetting, you know, to go. So yesterday, the president, you know, brought out a list of 13 deputy ministers he has nominated or appointed, you know, to assist their bosses in the various ministries in the country. Fred, who are these individuals?
13 deputy ministers. Out of the 13, 2 of them are not MPs.
Okay.
So they are not in Parliament. The rest of the 11 are what do you call it, members
of
parliament.
parliament.
The president also appointed another minister of state, bringing the appointments to 14 as of yesterday. So let's go through the list as we have it. The first person we have is Thomas Nyako Ampem, the MP for Esojaman. He's been sent to the finance ministry. Thomas Nyako Ampem, as we know,
he's the MP, the guy Pius was challenging.
The one who Pius Hadije contested in Esojaman. He won that particular election. Thomas Nyako Ampem has a background in economics. His first degree was in economics at KNUST. He went to do a second degree, a master's degree in the University of Virginia. He has a finance background. I think the master's degree was in finance. So he's worked in different financial institutions, and even within committees set up by government and parliament. He's done some work within the finance space. His name comes up as a surprise to me, because a lot of people
are thinking that was be our own friend Adongo
of Abolga Central, who was very vocal at the time. And they were in opposition.
I think it was a ranking on the finance
deputy
committee. Deputy ranking.
It was deputy ranking. Later became ranking after the
ranking majority leader.
The minority leader. So yes, Thomas Ampem Nyako Ampem is going to deputize the finance minister at the Ministry of Finance. The next person on the list is Ebenezer Oklete-Telabi. Ebenezer Oklete-Telabi is an MP for Lower Manya.
The Krobo area.
The Krobo area. He's MP for Lower Manya. In the first Mahama government, he was a deputy minister of defense. He was a deputy minister of defense. He has been within the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. In fact, before the announcement, from what we hear, there was another name which was penned or had been penciled to go into that particular ministry. There were two names which were being peddled around. You had the former police officer, Peter Tobu. And you had
is it Wild West or Wild West?
Wild West. Yes. He was one of the people who people had pointed out and believed that would have been sent to that particular ministry. There was also the MP for Ashaman, Ernest Nogbe, who was also one of the people tipped to go into that particular ministry, because Ernest Nogbe had spent a lot of time, I think 8 years, in the Defense and Interior Committee. And Ernest Nogbe's background came from NADMO. You know, NADMO also fell within the Interior.
It falls under the Interior Ministry.
Under the Interior Ministry. So a lot of people were thinking that it would have either gone to Peter Tobo.
And from Ashama, where he brings a lot of numbers on the table when it comes to elections for the NDC.
And so people thought he would have also been sent to the ministry, but the president thought otherwise. He has gone for Ebenezer Oklete-Telabi. And don't forget, if you look at the number of Gan Adangbe people who have been sent into government, a lot of them come from the Greater Accra, the Adam part of it. There was no Krobo in the list of the Gan Adangbe people. So I was thinking that, or it's my belief that in the selection and
just wanted to satisfy the regional balance and
not even the regional balance, but
the tribal
balance. You have the Gan, you have the Dangbes who are mostly Adans, then Adan and the Ningo people. What you needed to do is now to bring a Krobo. So I'm sure that in the calculation of the president and the people who sit to make this appointment, they decided to give to Ebenezer Oklete-Telabi from the Krobo land. So yes, he's been sent to the Interior Ministry. We have Ernest Broja Jemfi. Ernest Broja Jemfi from the Ashanti region. He used to be
very vocal.
Yes, he's currently the Director of Special Operations of the NDC. Broja Jemfi, a very vocal person within the NDC. He contested the National Youth Organizer position, going against the current Minister of Youth, Pablo. That particular
was a heated one.
Very heated.
It was a heated
very
one.
Very heated.
It nearly resulted in court action.
Even the results had a lot of confusion. It had to take the president to call them. At the time, the president was presidential candidate of the NDC, to call them and resolve the matter. After that particular incident, he was made Director of Special Operations. And during the elections, he had a duty of following the national chairman of the party, Johnson Esiedu Ketia, in his campaign round. So the NDC had three-step, three people leading their campaign. You had the flag bearer, the running mate,
and
the party led by the national chairman, who actually worked on a lot of the parliamentary elections or the parliamentary candidates, campaigning across the country for parliamentary candidates. So he was very involved in that. He's also a very close associate of the president, a very, very close associate of the president, a very good friend of Sami Jenfi, who has also been given a position elsewhere.
Now he's going to work with Dr. Edward Omane,
who is also not a member of parliament. So when you take the Ministry of Defense, the minister and the deputy minister do not belong to the legislature. They are fully executive people.
When it posed a challenge for them, because when you look at the previous administration, Nitiwo was a member of parliament. His deputy was also a member of parliament. So at least you could get some parliamentary involvement when it comes to issues dealing with the Ministry of Defense. But here lies the case, you have two ministers, one boss, one deputy, and none of them is a member of parliament. Will it pose a challenge in any way?
I don't think it would pose so much of a challenge. Yes, there may be some difficulties, but now what would happen is that the chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee will become very
close to them as well.
in the running of this particular ministry, because if it has anything having to do with legislation, they would have to deal with the person. So now, looking out for the person who will be chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee is one, I'm sure is one position which people would also fight a lot for. You have James Agauga, whose name even came up to take the position of Interior or Defense.
He was a former deputy Interior Minister.
He was former deputy Interior Minister in the first government of John Mahama. So I'm sure that in this particular tenure or second term of John Mahama, the person who becomes chairman of the Interior and Defense Committee would play a key role in addressing the legislative duties for these two gentlemen who find themselves at the Ministry of Defense. One other person who's also been nominated and has been sent to the Education Ministry is Clement Apak.
One appointment, a lot of people are not surprised.
Yes,
a lot of people are not surprised.
Very much expected.
And very much expected as well. People even think that he was going to be the main minister. Because for me, I thought Dr. Apak was going to be the education minister because of his involvement in educational issues. A former lecturer, vandal, speaks on education issues, go-to person when he wants anybody from the minority to speak about education, visit a number of schools about when the free SHS had its challenges, feeding and the rest. So for me, I thought he was going to be the education minister. But when he came as deputy, I wasn't surprised because he's been one person who's been very, very key when it comes to issues of education.
Yes, so Dr. Clement Apak, MP Busa South, has been sent to the Education Ministry. The next person the president nominated to go and take over a particular, to go and deputize another minister is Richard Jan Mensah, Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Richard Jan Mensah, Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. He is the MP for Gomwa West, if I'm not wrong. This is his second term in Parliament.
In office,
What about his background? A lot of people do not know that he's an energy person. He has worked within the energy space. He was within the oil and gas industry before leaving to become a member of Parliament. So yes, he has a background within from the oil space, oil and gas space. He has been sent to the Ministry of Energy from the Central Region, resolving some of the issues within the Central Region. The next person who is also has been nominated is Ahassan Suhini. Ahassan Suhini is being sent to the Ministry of Roads and Highways, going to deputize Governs Agboja, Kwame Agboja, a very huge ministry, a ministry which has a lot of work, a ministry which interfaces and deals with the public quite often because of what they do. Construction of roads, fixing of roads and all that. That's a very important
which ministry. A lot of every Ghanaian complains about.
Exactly.
My roads are bad.
Exactly.
I remember when Bernard opened the phone lines about on the breakfast show some time back, almost everyone who called him complained about a particular road in his or her area. And I feel that ministry is one of the ministries that will have a lot of challenges because you have a number of ongoing projects across the country. For instance, the Achimota in Sawom, one, the Accra Kumasi Road is one of them. The Dodowa Adenta Road is also another of them. The Takrady Intaje, where yesterday the president was there to promise them that indeed construction will also be. So there are quite a number of them. Recently, a friend of mine who stays around the Pampam area, they complain about the Pong area there. There's also construction there which has still for a while, and the traffic there is something else. So the ministry has a lot of challenges to deal with, and I'm sure with Suini and someone we've known over the years may give a good assist to Honorable Abuja to deliver other particular ministry
properly. Because you see, this is a ministry where you need a good communicator, somebody who could explain, somebody who
the PR is always under pressure.
Yes, the PR, and he, I mean, to be very fair to Ahmed had done a very good job at the Ministry of Roads and Highways. At the time, he was the main go-to person, and he had to come and explain. He had to come and defend a lot of things done in the ministry. Now he's getting a boss who also understands the media space, who is very good with communication. So I am hoping that the Ministry of Roads and Highway this time round would speak more, would communicate more, and give us a better understanding as to what the plan of the government is, what they are doing with our roads, and how they intend to make our roads better. As we speak now, today we are hearing that the government is going to reintroduce the road tolls. They are going to send that particular bill to Parliament for Parliament to relook at. This is a very important.
But this time they're going to give it a different approach, not the usual stop, pay, and then move. They are trying to do it electronically. When Abuja appeared before the appointment committee, that particular question was asked, and he gave an understanding how the new format will be like, where it will be electronically, unlike the old ways, which causes a lot of on my road, Kaswa Road. You stay in traffic for all this while because you have to pay, toll. And I'm hoping that if they do it electronically, it will help. It will help reduce, the traffic that we endured in time past.
I mean, the next person, Yusuf Sulemana, Ministry Deputy Minister, designates Lands, Natural Resources. He is MP for Bole, the Member of Parliament for the President of the Republic of Ghana.
He replaced President Mahama.
Yes, he replaced him. He is currently the MP for the President, the President's MP. When the first list of ministerial nominees were put out, his name was not in. The second batch, his name was not in. The third batch, his people said, "Hey, what is happening?" They decided to protest.
They feel the president has abandoned one of their own.
And he issued a statement and told his people to calm down. He asked them that they should allow the president to work. The president has worked, and finally he's been nominated as Deputy Lands Minister. He is going to help with Kofi Amabua at the ministry. That ministry also has a lot of
challenges. Galamsey fight.
You see, I was saying that it's important that we are even having somebody up north being a deputy minister or being part of the lands ministry, because if you look at the trajectory of Galamsey, gradually it's getting everywhere, especially the north. Especially the north, even though it's very rampant, coming back down south. Now the people within the north have also started engaging in it, and it's spreading quickly. So someone who understands the area could give a better advice as to how it can be done. So his appointment as Deputy Lands Minister seems to be good. People thought he was going to be on the trade, because of his previous position as
on the
Deputy
trade committee,
on the Trade Committee. But then he's been sent to the Lands Ministry. The next person we are going to look at is Giselle Atete Agbotui. Giselle Atete Agbotui is an architect. She finds herself within the built environment. This is her second term in the House. She is a sister of Anna Tete, the former foreign minister. She understands the space. She is going to the Ministry of Works and Housing, Water Resources. She is going to support the minister, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay. Kenneth Gilbert Ejay is not a member of Parliament. She is a member of Parliament. She has some understanding within the space because of her professional background. So I think that she might do a good job if given the opportunity to run and help the minister run the particular ministry. The next person would go is Yusuf Isaac Ajaja, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. He's MP for Ayawaso North. MP for Ayawaso North.
The Mamobi area there. Mamobi Accra Girls.
Exactly, where you used to engage a lot of
Mamobi Accra Girls area there.
Yes. That's, it used to, at a point, we were in that constituency some time back.
We worked there around that constituency.
So yes, he's been sent to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, where he's going to support Jifa Gomashi to ensure that the plan of the NDC to transform the tourism sector comes to pass. He's quite young. As I said, we shouldn't look at the tourism ministry as one ministry, which is just a ministry. It's a very important and key ministry which can actually transform our economy, create a lot of jobs. And I hope that as he goes there, he's going to support the minister to ensure that, the tourism sector is developed properly so that we can see the benefits and receive the benefits as a country. The next person on the list is John Kofi Dumelo. John Kofi Dumelo.
The member of parliament for
Ayawaso West,
my constituency. So he's my member of parliament.
People, I think in the list, he's the most surprising person, the shocking name, and the ministry. Minister of Food and Agriculture. He's the only first-time MP
to be
who has been named amongst all the ministerial and deputy ministerial nominees. We know, is an actor. We know is a farmer. This morning on the breakfast show, this conversation was taking place, and there was a commentary said, look, he could be used as a poster boy for the young people to enter into farming. Because
he's very big on social media as far as farming is concerned.
Yes.
He goes to his farm, take pictures and video, you put it he will always put it on his timelines, and then more or less like asking people to get involved in farming, because he has said that he's making a lot, when it comes to
into ginger farming and other maize farming and other things. So he has been sent to the Ministry of Agriculture.
But a lot of people are also thinking, or also thought that because of his background, he would have been a better or a good pick for deputy for tourism.
And creative arts.
Because you have a boss there who is already in the act and a deputy who is also in the act. You could get the two of them to drive the industry for the results that we want. So a lot of people are thinking that, as a former actor, someone who's been in this space, has colleagues already in it, can bring all of them together and push the agenda. But then moving from where he's comfortable, something he's done over the years, and then moving him to a new ministry, which is the agric ministry. Is it because he's a farmer that is why you are putting him there? A lot of people are doing, the calculation, what really necessitated the movement from, not movement,
his comfort zone.
Appointment from his comfort zone to a new ministry. But he's a farmer. He knows the challenges farmers go through.
Yes.
As
he has experience with farmers.
Yeah, and as someone on the ground, the practical experience, I'm sure it will help him in that particular ministry.
The next person is Justice Remsai, Deputy Attorney General and Deputy Minister of Justice. Justice Remsai, as we know him, has been a lawyer for so many years, well over 10 years. He served as a lawyer. He's been in private practice. Justice Remsai is also in academia. He is a lecturer. He started with GIMPA. He's now with the University of Ghana Law School.
Okay.
Quite well known, someone who's able to break down the law for you to understand very easily. A gentleman, very, 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 very calm. For me, I believe that his choice as the deputy AG is a very good one. It also encourages the young people to work hard to reach some of these, to get to some of these points. Quite young as a person, and going to support Dr. Dominic Ayene. Dr. Dominic Ayene.
Have they worked together in time past?
They have engaged on many occasions in different cases and different forums.
So the synergy is there.
Yes.
The relationship is there.
Yes, and Justice Remsai is also a doctor anyway. He has a PhD.
Okay.
He's also a doctor. But
because friend, in nowadays, if the minister and the deputy minister do not see eye to eye, there's always a challenge when it comes to the work. You must have two people who agree, who decide to work on a particular purpose. But if you go have a minister and a deputy who, you know, there's some tension between the two of them, the work always suffers. There's always been an example in the previous administration, but I will not mention names.
Please don't go there.
I'll come and tell you that one later. You're still watching the situation. We're coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Fred has been taking us through the new appointments made by President John Dramani Mahama as far as the deputy ministers of his administration is or are concerned. When we come back from the break, we'll conclude the list because it's 13. Fred has done only 11 of them. We'll do the rest and then also let you know some appointment that has been made as far as CEOs, board chairs, and the rest are concerned.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
Going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
Buckle up, here we go.
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
Time to boost some office morale.
Incredible!
If you want to build a future, you gotta know what you want.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
You're welcome back. You're still watching The Situation. We're coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Situation, you know, we talk politics. And as you're aware, tomorrow, February 7th, marks exactly 1 month since President John Dramani Mahama was sworn in as the President of the Republic. He made a promise that within the first 120 days, he will set up his government and also roll out a number of policies and programs he hopes to achieve in that particular period. Already, he's gearing towards that. He's made ministers, appointed ministers and deputy ministers. Already, 42 ministers of state have been appointed, nominated and vetted by the appointment committee. Just yesterday, Wednesday, a new list of deputy ministerial nominees were also released or was released by the Jubilee House, and they are expected to face the appointment committee of Parliament. As to whether and when they will go through the vetting, we are yet to know because the committee is expected to come out with a date on when they will want to vet these 13 deputy ministers and 1 minister of state as far as the administration of John Dramani Mahama is already. Fred was taking us through who these individuals are, their background, and what they bring on the table as far as pushing the resetting agenda of John Dramani Mahama, you know, pushes through. We've done 11 of them. We ended at Justice Rimsai, who is going to be the Deputy Minister for Justice and Attorney General's Republic. But before Fred comes in, let me just run you through the list in the event that you just joined us. Now, per the list released by the Jubilee House, Thomas Nyakwampim is going to be the Deputy Minister, if approved by the Appointment Committee of Parliament and Parliament as a whole. Thomas Nyakwampim going to the Ministry of Finance, Ebenezer Telabi, Ministry of Interior, Ernest Bojajefi, Ministry of Defense, Clement Apak, Ministry of Energy, Richard Jan Mensah, Ministry of Energy, Dr. Clement Apak, Ministry of Education. Richard Jan Mensah, Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Al-Hassan Suhini, Ministry of Roads and Highways. Yusuf Suleimana, Ministry of Land and Natural Resources. Gisela Teta Butchi, Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources. Yusuf Isaka Jaja, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. John Kofi Seto Dumelo, Ministry of Food and Agric. Justice Rimsai, Ministry of Justice and Attorney General's Department. Fred, we are left with Rita Na Odole Sowa, a member of the Appointment Committee. One of the women I admire, asked a lot of questions on the committee, and hard-hitting questions and good questions.
She's been made Deputy Minister of Local Government. She is.
She served as an MC before.
Yeah, she's current MP for Dade Kotopon.
She was a former MC for the area.
For the particular area at the time. She was a financial secretary to NALAC.
Okay.
So she's served within the
National Association of Local Government, something.
Yes.
Yeah.
She served within the local government space for a very long time. She has a good understanding of that area. As you said, during the vetting, you could see the questions she asked the local government minister. You realize that there's somebody who knows the space and knows it well. I am glad that she has been made deputy local government minister, and we hope that she'll be able to perform in that particular role. The next person is Samson Ahi, MP for Bodi. Samson Ahi was former deputy minister for works and housing under the first Mahama administration. He was one of the people who was tipped to become minister for works and housing, because when you look at the way John Mahama was
elevating deputy ministers,
you realize that there was some elevation of deputy ministers, and people thought that the MP for Bodi would have been also elevated, but the president had different plans for him.
The chief minister of deputy ministers.
Yes, he's been announced.
Or the chief deputy minister.
Chief deputy minister. He's now been sent to the Minister of Trade, to the Ministry of Trade, Business and Industry.
Remember when Obiama was appointed, a deputy minister of local government, and he served deputy minister under Kufuor. When he came back, his colleagues always laugh at him. They call him the senior prefect of deputy ministers.
So he's taking the job of Obiama. Now let's talk about, really, in all this, what is the regional balance?
Yeah.
What is really the regional balance? But let's start from the nominations so far. We have 16 regional ministers. We have 23 sector ministers. We have 13 deputy ministers. We have 4 ministers of state, making the total 56.
So the president has 4 more appointments to go.
4 more.
Be careful about 4 more. Be careful about 4 more
for you. Let's go. Look at the 4 and see some of the key ministries which might get deputy ministers who haven't gotten yet. We have the Ministry of Transport. We have the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment, the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Communications, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When you look at this particular ministry, Foreign Affairs, for me, I don't think that it needs a deputy
So these
minister.
are 6 vacancies, if I want to put it that way, and what is left is only 4.
Yes. I mean, these are 6 ministries we believe could possibly get deputy ministers. The other ministries which are not here, sports, youth, and others which are not here. But these are the 6 ministries we believe could get deputy ministers. Foreign Affairs, for me, even though it's one of the big ministries, I don't think would need to have.
I think Foreign Affairs needs a deputy, because the Foreign Affairs minister is Ghana's chief, aside the president, the vice president. The Foreign Affairs minister is the chief diplomat, aside the 2 of them. There are certain areas or countries or conferences or events that his presence may be required. And the foreign ministry is big. You have the normal foreign ministry, and there are other so there's ECOWAS or the sub-region.
You have diplomats.
Oh yeah, you have diplomats and then ambassadors and the rest. But there are certain areas or certain things these diplomats cannot do. It will require the minister or deputy minister to do these things. When Shirley Ayoko was minister, I think she had 2 deputies who were representing her at other events or other places that her presence was required. And so she delegated some of these things. And Prem Chu was one of them. And then Mavis, at first it was the member of parliament for Ebrim now, Charles Wedu, who was later made ambassador to South Africa. So these were the two deputy ministers. And Charles would travel on the orders of Madam Ayokoboche to certain conferences or certain areas.
I understand. You have civil servants who are within the ministry, who have experience, who can be sent there. Let's go. One of the most important places we need to be looking out for is the Ministry of Health.
Of course.
A deputy minister. And conversations around this ministry is it has been growing as to who becomes deputy minister of health. You are looking at gender balance. You are looking at regional balance. You are looking at expertise. There are 3 names which have come up, which people are tipping one to become the minister, the deputy minister. You have the Dr. Titus Beyo.
Member of Parliament of, is it Lamoussier? Yeah.
Lambusi.
A former General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association.
He is from the Upper West.
Yeah.
You have the MP
For Esikado. Dr. Grace
Ayensu, a female from the Western region.
Doctor, yeah.
The Western region hasn't received a deputy ministerial position. Upper West hasn't received one. Then you have the daughter of the founder of the party, Dr. Zanetta Rollins, from the Greater Accra, gender, female. But Greater Accra has already received 2 nominations, 2 or 3 nominations for deputy ministerial positions. So who do you give to? Looking at background, which is expertise, professionalism, or their professions, they all fall within this background. Now look at regional balance. 2 regions, 2 of them fall within regions who have not received a party, who have not received nomination, any nomination yet, right? Then look at now history within the party, the founder of the party's daughter. So who are you going to give to? This is a very interesting portfolio we'll be looking out for the deputy minister of
and
health.
all 3 are practicing medical practitioners.
Yes. So I mean, the next one is labor, jobs and employment, environment, science and technology. Do you think these
for environment, science and technology? No, they don't need. I don't think that ministry needs a deputy because there's already a minister of state as the president in charge of climate change and sustainability.
Yeah.
The 2 ministers can work. I'm not sure a deputy minister in that ministry will really, because when you look at the portfolio of the two, okay, there's a ministry, that one is just a minister of state. It drives to the same thing. You know, you have a minister of state for climate change and the rest. The Ministry of Environment is the one leading Ghana's climate change drive and the rest. So I'm not really sure when it comes to technology, the Ministry of Communication is there to assist the Ministry of Environment as far as technological drive is concerned. So it's one ministry I'm not sure we need.
But as I mean, a deputy. I'm thinking that the president will surprise us.
He calls the shots.
I have a strong belief that there will be a second deputy minister for finance.
Oh wow!
That's the belief I have, that there will be a second deputy minister of finance. That's the belief I have. But let's wait.
But still not go beyond the 60.
Yes. So out of the 4 deputies left,
so one will be finance.
One might be finance,
and then the 3 will be shared on these ones.
That is what I am.
Because the finance ministry is huge.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. So Sami, now let's go to what we call the regional balance and how many ministers and deputies fall within a particular region. Let's start with the Ahafo region. In the Ahafo region, we just have one minister. There's no deputy. So the Ahafo region just has 1 appointment if it comes to the ministerial positions. That is the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku. We go to the next region, which is the Ashanti region. The Ashanti region has 3 personalities from the region. You have the Minister for Interior, Mutaka Mubarak. You have the Minister for Works and Housing, Gilbert Kenneth Ejay, and Deputy Minister for Defense, Esboja Jemfi, bringing the numbers to 3. So the Ashanti region has 3 nominations or 3 ministers or people, ministerial positions in that particular constituency. Let's go to the next one. The next one will be the Bono region. The Bono region has 1.
Only 1.
There's no deputy minister.
Which is Ahmed Ibrahim. They don't have a deputy minister, just 1 person from the Bono region. The next would be the Bono East region. The Bono East region has 2, no deputy minister, 2 substantive ministers. One is Minister for Trade, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejare. Then the Minister of State for Special Initiatives, Emmanuel Kojo Ejekum. They make 2 of the Bono East from the Bono East. So Bono East has 2 so far. The next one would be the Eastern region. Eastern region has some numbers. There are 4 2 ministers, 2 deputies.
2 ministers, 2 deputies. Defense Ministry, Eduardo Maneboama. Ministry of Youth, George Opariado. Deputy Ministers, Thomas Nyakwampim from Isujaman. Then Ebenezer Oklete Telabi from Lower Manya Krobo. That's 4 people coming from the Eastern region. The next region we have is the Northeast region, 1 person. Isifu Seidu, the Minister of State in charge of climate change and sustainability. He is from the Northeast. So Northeast has just 1. Let's go to the Northern region. The Northern region has 4. We have the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, Minister for Environment, Mohamed Mutala Ibrahim. Then Joseph Bukari Likpe, Minister of Transport. Then you have one Deputy Minister, Hassan Suhini, making 4 people from the north.
So it looks like the Tamale constituencies all have ministers.
Yes.
Because you have
Tamale, you have Tamale South,
Tamale Central,
Tamale
North.
So the 4 Tamale constituencies, or the 3 Tamale constituencies have been given ministerial positions. Let's go back and look at the next region. The next region will be the North Oti region. Oti region has one. Kofi Adams, Sports and Recreation. We go to the next one, which would be the Savannah region. The Savannah region has 2. The President's region has 2. John Jinapor Energy, Yusuf Suleimana, Deputy Minister of Lands.
So 1 minister, 1 deputy.
1 minister, 1 deputy. Then we go to the Upper East region. The Upper East region has 3. Dominic Ayene, Attorney General. Lydia Lamisi Akanvariba, who has now been nominated as Minister of State for Public Sector Reforms. She is
the member of Parliament for Timpani. Yeah, she took over from the former Deputy AG,
Joseph Penka. She is a nurse by profession. Yeah. So she is from. She
came to Parliament through a by-election after the husband passed away.
Yes. So now she is there. Clementa Park has been added as a deputy. So the Upper East region has 3 3 ministers,
1 deputy,
3 people nominated from that particular region. Let's look at the next one, which will be the Upper West. 1 person.
Only 1.
Abdul Rashid Papo from the Upper West. Now, quickly go to the next one. Greater Accra has 5. Sam George, Communications Minister. Agnes Namomolate, Gender Minister. 3 deputies, Yusuf Jaja, Rita now Dolosowa, John Dumelo, from the Greater Accra region. So far, the Greater Accra has the largest.
Yeah.
Let's see what Volta will bring us. Volta region.
So
Central first. Let's go to Central. Central has 4. Kesela Tufosin, Felix Ufosukwache ministers, deputy ministers Richard Jan and Gisela Tete Agbotui, making 4. I think we missed the Volta region. But the Volta region also has 4.
Yeah.
4. We have Samukujetu
Ablekuma, Foreign
Minister. We have Governs Kwame Abuja. Roads and Highways. We have the Deputy Minister for the Attorney General Justice. Shremsai is also there. There's one more person making 4 people from the Volta region. Now,
aside ministers, there have been other appointments as well.
The president has been making appointments. He's been making appointments.
My president is a busy man then.
A very, very busy man. I'm sure you don't want to be in the shoes of the president.
I don't even
Let's
him at all.
quickly run through some of the appointments which have been made. Adam Muta Wakilu has been made the CEO of the Ghana Water Company. He used to be former MP for Damongo. He used to be
Galus, as they call him.
He used to be on the Energy Committee of Parliament. Helga Ayi Boedi, acting executive director of the GMPC Foundation. She was the founding CEO of NIP when it was created by John Mahama in 2013. She was the founding CEO of that particular institution. She's now been sent to the GMPC Foundation as an executive director. Sylvester Mensah, former NHIS, former MP, former plenty presidential candidate,
former general secretary aspirant,
former general presidential aspirant. He's been sent to the Exim Bank to be the CEO of the Exim Bank. Professor Kobi Mensah from the University of Ghana, very vocal during the campaign. He has a background in advertisement and publicity and political marketing from the business school of the University of Ghana. He's been sent to the Ghana Tourism Development Company. His other associate from the University of Ghana, Professor Ranford Edward Van Jampo, acting CEO of the Shippers Authority, a political scientist. We know him, very vocal also. in the last campaign.
This particular appointment, you know, has come under heavy criticism. You know, a lot of people were wondering, so all along, you know, but then he came to respond to them that he can't stay neutral without helping his country.
Yeah.
And so this is a way of helping his country. It's a way of helping Ghana become a better country.
The debate of who a neutral will be would always continue.
Will always come
after
up.
every
Will always
government,
come
after
up.
government changes hands.
Issues of neutrality.
Professor Michael Pesa-White, former NSS boss, he's now been sent as acting director of
He's made several attempts to go to Parliament.
Yes.
In the Shai Osu Doku.
Has failed
Yeah.
in that attempt. The Linda Oklo, the current Greater Accra Regional Minister, has ensured that he's never entered Parliament. He's been sent to SIGA to be acting director. Another person from the University of Ghana. So you realize that the last 3 or 4 people are all from the University of Ghana. Professor Nana Amma Brown Kluche, she is also from the University of Ghana. She's a lecturer with the University of Ghana. Her background is on climate.
Climate, yeah. And environment.
And environment.
Already she started work. She was on the Galamsey field a few days ago.
She's been made Director General of Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Authority. There are other, Raymond Archer. Raymond Archer has been made the Acting Deputy Executive Director of the Economic Organized Crime Office, IOCO. He is being sent to IOCO. Former journalist or a journalist, investigative journalist. He's a member of the oral team and now has been sent to IOCO. So you see how this whole oral thing would work. One has been sent to the Foreign Affairs Ministry. One has been sent to IOCO. I'm going to see, or we'll be wondering how they'll be working.
One of them
together.
has also been made a director of operations at the Jubilee House.
At the Jubilee House. So Raymond Archer has been sent, or has been made the acting executive director of IOCO. Who do we have next? Albert Kojo Chumboafo, former
CEO of the Free Zones. Free Zones.
Former CEO of Free Zones. A very articulate gentleman.
Very vocal.
Very vocal. Very strong in his stance. You recall his issues with the Presbyterian Church when he decided to withdraw.
He's had a lot of issues
Church.
And quite a very controversial, personality, if you ask me.
Kojo Chumboafo, as he's known as, he's been sent to the Financial Intelligence Center, FIC, as acting CEO. We go to Dr. Victor Bampo, former Deputy Minister of Health. He's now been sent to the
National Health Insurance Authority.
NHIA. Victor Bampo's background has been with the UN. He was one in charge of raising funds and other things. He came into the country and was made deputy minister after the government, Mohammed's government lost, went back to work with the UN. I think his last post was either in Kenya or Nigeria, and he's been brought back to Ghana to work with the NHIS. And you know the issues of funding for the NHIS.
It's always an issue.
He's been made there,
claims payments
to ensure
and
try and fix that particular issue. The next person we'll have is Professor Joshua Alabi, board chairman of GCB. He was the campaign manager for the NDC and the presidential candidate. He's been made board chairman of GCB. And next is Farihan Ahassan, acting managing director of GCB. He is from the Stanbic Bank. He's worked with Stanbic Bank for a long time. He's been made the acting managing director of GCB. One other position we have, Abraham Ferguson. Abraham Ferguson has been within the NDC circles. He's been a banker for a long time, worked with GCB.
And he's worked with the Ghana Commercial Bank.
He's been with Commercial Bank for a long time. I think his last position he held before being made GCB, the deputy managing director, was in charge of Accra East. Accra East, the sector of GCB. That's what he was doing with GCB before he was given the position. Finally, Mami Efua Hujeto, acting CEO, Ghana Tourism Authority. She used to be the former deputy women's organizer of the NDC. She has been promoted or been given the job to go and lead the Ghana Tourism Authority. And there are so many others who have been appointed. Every other day there's an announcement.
But for Mami Efua, I think she has a lot of work to do, because considering the year of return, the high GH in Ghana, I think she has really a lot of work to do to push the tourism drive.
Her predecessor has done a very, very good job at the Ghana Tourism Authority. And she's going to take
I'm sure she'll build out from there.
We hope that she sustains
and if
improves
possible
upon
can
the
consult,
work, improves
Akwesi
upon the
Agyeman
work Akwesi Agyeman has
yeah,
done. There are other people like Sami Jemfi and others who have also been appointed.
Malik Basintale,
Malik Basintale, Eduji Tamaklo has been sent to an
interesting
NMPA.
appointment.
Yes.
But all we can say is we wish them all the best. We wish them all the best, and we hope that they will deliver as expected. We wish them all the best.
Yes, that's
God's guidance.
I mean, we expect them to excel and succeed. So we wish them the best.
It's been another exciting edition of the Situation Room that came to you again live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafi, and I did it with my brother Fred and colleague Fred Tete Jaban. Until we come your way again, may the good Lord be with us all.